Hi, my name's Will, and welcome to this thought of transmission for today. I'm talking to Wellington band Menzies, or in particular, one of the members of Wellington band Menzies. How are you?
I'm great. Thanks, Will. Thanks for having me here. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm pretty good, pretty good. So we need to do the intros. I don't know who you are yet, so please introduce yourself and all the other members in the band.
Yeah, kia ora. I'm Chris. Uh, then in the band, we've got Miles Sutton. He plays guitar and backing vocals. We've got Nikita Piper. She's the drummer. And Doug Kelly, who plays bass.
And you're the vocalist?
Yes. Yeah, I didn't say what I do. I'm on vocals, keys, and a little bit of guitar.
I like looking at blurbs that people put on their sort of promo stuff, and I found yours. So it says post punk Te Whanganui Atara, which I had to look up actually. Like I know what Auckland is in Māori, but like always when the te reo comes out, you sort of learn the one where you live, and then you sort of
Yeah.
don't know all the other ones. So I was like, is that Whanganui? But it's not. It's it,
Right. Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
it's Wellington. So there we go. Every day we learn something new. So here we go. Start again. Post punk Te Whanganui Atara. Menzies dropped their splintering second single and music video Spaghettiland off their upcoming EP of the same name, out Friday the 5th of July, which is already gone, 2024. So that was your second single. So what was your first single?
The first single was called 8 out of 10, and that came out maybe about a month prior to that,
Okay.
which is also on the EP.
That's the third track, isn't it? I think.
Yep, you're bang on.
Cool. I presume you haven't been around too long, but I could be wrong. So when did the band start? Have there been any sort of major lineup changes that impacted the band's style, etc.? Tell me all about it.
Yeah, we formed very start of last year, 2023, um, here in Wellington, and came together as a bit of a patchwork of previous bands. Myself and Nikita, the drummer, had been playing in a band called Friendlies, which came to an end. And I guess that kind of actually allowed for Menzies to come to be. Um, I at the time was living with, or maybe just before that, was living with Miles Sutton on who plays guitar on the terrace here in Wellington, and we talked about making some music. He's got his own band called Welcomer, who I think are great. And the bassist that we had, actually, funny enough, at the time, it was a different bassist we have now, is Connor Gainey, who uh, Friendlies, the previous band that Nikita and I were in, that got broken up, was Connor's band. So he ended the band on us. And I said, like, right, sure, you can try end the band on us, but how about we just spin something else up, and dragged him back into it. So it was almost like a Friendlies recreation at the start, plus Miles. But on the question of lineup changes, yes, we always knew it would be temporary with Connor. He was heading down to Christchurch to study. And so about mid last year, he left, and we got Doug Kelly in on bass. Um, and did it change the sound? I think so. Particularly, like, Doug is really good at bass harmonies. He'll often be playing fifths and things like that, and adding quite like a full sound on bass, and so that's been really enjoyable having that along.
I've sort of mentioned this before, but I'm going to reiterate it again. You released a video for Spaghetti Land last month, and the single release date was Friday the 21st of June. So I listened to the video. You sent it to me before the release date, and it's a video of you guys running around getting chased by a large rock, with which has some feet sticking out of the bottom of it. It must have been quite a challenging concept, because I suppose when you first thought of the video, you thought, oh, we'll just have like a rolling rock chasing us around, and then the logistics of it meant, or how we're gonna like navigate this rock. Like, are you going to have some people in it sort of running like hamsters trying to get it down the hill? And then I guess at some point you realize, okay, we're just going to have some feet sticking out the bottom of it and get it to sort of run along. But it must have been quite difficult to do that. I mean, how many times did the people in the rock fall over, injure themselves, trip over curbs and stuff? Were there any serious accidents making that video?
I think no serious accidents, but you're right that it was incredibly tricky. You may you may not believe it, but actually, the initial concept for the video was having the feet sticking out the bottom,
Oh,
as opposed to pivoting from how can we make it look real, or have people inside it. That was always the idea, but how tricky it would be to maneuver this thing was not something I think that we'd quite prepared for. So yeah, initially we built the thing, and fortunately had some great help from people who have done things like that before, some really good friends. It was just so much heavier than I could have imagined. And like, we were worried it was going to break apart the whole time. So like, we'd only planned that one person would be behind the boulder, but it was just way too heavy. And even with two people, it was like near impossible to hold it and run with it. Injuries, I gashed open behind the boulder was all chicken wire. I gashed open my thumb at one point and had blood pouring out. And I think that's about as bad as it got. Yeah.
I sort of guessed that it must have been like chicken wire with like maybe some kind of framing and then paper mache or something over the top of it.
It was like sheets with plaster over it, and the inside was chicken wire. And we actually used what do you call them? Pool those pool tube, the pool noodles, those big kind of bendable things, and we used that kind of for the frame to keep it together. But by the end of the day, in fact, you can see like the video largely progresses in chronological order from when we shot it, and you can see by the end it's like kind of falling apart, like the bottom of the boulders hanging off. There's like paint chipping off it. We had spray cans there to like touch it up all through the day, so it yeah, it served its purpose.
The 5-track EP Spaghetti Land dropped on the 5th of July 2024. Where did you record it?
We did it all ourselves, and we did it in our rehearsal space, which is at the top of Cuba Street here in Wellington. We booked out the space for a full weekend, and kind of set it all up and got it going that way.
Okay, so one of you did the engineering for it, or did you get somebody in?
We recorded the whole thing live, so we did it ourselves in the rehearsal space, but set it all up and recorded every single song live with the vocals live as well, which meant that it was a pretty raucous time. It meant we had a fair bit of bleeding across in microphones as well, but we wanted to try and capture the energy of the band as much as we can, and like we very much think of ourselves as a live band. We love performing and having a real good time, and that was the best way we could do it. And so I think that comes through on the EP, and it also means it's not like no singular take was absolutely perfect, if you know what I mean. There was always like someone who wouldn't be 100% happy with what they did in the particular take, but we kind of just had to accept whatever one felt best on the whole. And so that was quite an enjoyable experience to do it that way, and just have to accept whatever one feels best and roll with it. Yeah, that's the thought I had on the recording of it. And then obviously we had Ollie Devlin, who's in a band, Hans Puckett, mix it, and he did a very good job given the quality of the stems that he received.
You got a tour coming up. I guess we should probably mention that because it's very soon. Give me the tour dates. Where you're going to be playing, what time doors are, how much tickets are, all that sort of stuff.
I've got notes here, so if I'm looking over this way, it's so that I can see them, not forget.
I've got notes here as well. Everyone's got notes.
Nice. So we've got this Friday, the 19th. We're playing in Palmerston North. That's at the Stomach, and we've got Persimmon and Pining Radiata opening, who are both bands I'm really excited to see. And the price for all the shows, I think, is the same. I think it's $10 concession, $15 general admission. And then the following night, this Saturday, the 20th of July, we're playing at Vogelmorn upstairs. And we've got Timothy Blackman opening for us with a band. I love his music, so I'm really looking forward to seeing him. And then the following Friday, we play up in Auckland. That's at Wine Cellar. And so that's Friday, 26th of July. And we're joined by Family Band there, who are pretty ruckus, and I'm real into their music, so I think that'll be a good time. And then the following night, so Saturday, 27th of July, we play in Raglan at the Yard, and that's the final date of the tour.
I had to describe your sound to a friend of mine the other day, and I said it's like Mutton Birds meets open mic night. Would that be accurate?
Open mic night, do you mean like performing at an open mic night, or is there a band called Open Mic Night that I don't know about?
When you listen to some bands, when they finish one song and the next song starts, you already kind of know where it's going to go. But when you listen to the EP, the next song is, who knows, man? It could just be like a little pling pling with a gentle vocal over the top. It could be distorted guitars and someone yelling at you. It can be all over the shop. So that's why I mentioned the open mic night idea, because much like an open mic night, the next person up on the mic could be doing anything under the sun. So
I get you. That makes complete sense. Yeah, and we definitely have not bound ourselves to any particular genre. You know, like we just make the music that feels good and right to us, and try and serve the song in whatever way it needs it. If that's like, you know, real heavy distorted guitars, we'll go for it. And if that's paired right back to just vocals and something simple, then we'll do it as well. And I think that's something I've really enjoyed about this project is the willingness just to let the music be whatever feels right at that point in time for the band.
So, what do you attribute your eclectic songwriting style to? Is it drugs, unhinged and unchecked personality disorders, or something else?
Yeah, maybe the second one. No, what do I attribute it to? I think we've got a band of really talented musicians, probably with quite eclectic tastes as well, and that goes across the band. We all listen to quite different stuff from each other, but then we each all listen to quite different stuff as well. And I think that coupled with a willingness not to pigeonhole ourselves one way or another, a willingness just to explore and do what feels right. I think that allows us to create quite different sounds and surprise ourselves sometimes as well.
So, what's the plan for the rest of the year beyond the tour?
We're sitting on a bunch of songs that we haven't recorded, and so would love to get some of those recorded, whether that's in another EP, whether it's in an album, something like that. I'm not too sure. We've also got Miles, who plays guitar in the band, is moving overseas for a while, and so we'll need to find a new guitarist. So that will be an important chapter in the band as well. And so if anyone's listening to this that plays guitar and thinks they might enjoy making music in the band and is in Wellington, then shout out. I'd love to chat. But yeah, we've got some songs that we are really enjoying, so I would love to record those at some point.
All right, Chris. Well, what I usually ask people that I interview at the end of the God, I can't even English today. Is there anything else you'd like to add to the interview to sort of round it out?
Yeah, big thanks to everyone who's listened to the EP so far and watched the music video. And very much looking forward to playing these shows around the country, and so or the North Island, I should say. And so if anyone wants to come see us, please come along. I'd love to see you there. Yeah. Oh, and you can catch us on Facebook, Instagram, Spotify, Bandcamp, Apple Music, you know, all those places. That was a bit of a ramble there, Will, but maybe there's something you can use in there.
All right, Chris. Well, thanks very much for chatting with me tonight. Best of luck with the tour and the potential future music releases, whenever they may be. And I'll chat to you later on. Say goodbye to everybody. Goodbye, everybody.
Goodbye, everybody. Thanks, Will.
Cool. And thanks for watching.